Doug Henry's success came in the most basic way possible, through sheer determination. Not blessed with superior talent or all the right connections, Henry forced his way to the professional motocross scene with his own will, trying harder, training harder, and wanting it more than anyone else. He rarely ventured to the big amateur races, instead focusing on the local New England racing scene until the late 1980s. He made his pro debut at his local track at Southwick, Massachusetts in 1988, and in 1990 set out to compete in the full national motocross tour. He signaled his arrival in 1991, where on a YZ125, he famously won the 1991 Hangtown National on a day where it rained so hard that the track nearly drowned. From there, Henry simply put his New England mud skills to work. It was no fluke. 2 years later, he was both the 125 motocross and 125 East Regional Supercross champion. And despite battling an illness, he repeated his 125 motocross championship in 1994 and entered the 250 class with great success until 1995. But then came a massive crash at Budds Creek, Maryland. At the time, he was vying for the 250 National Motocross points lead against Jeremy McGrath. But the huge crash not only ended his season, it nearly ended his career. Henry's crash required radical surgery to rebuild his lower back, and many thought he would never return. But he found a willing partner in Team Yamaha, which brought him back for the 1996 season. By 97, Henry was fully 100%, and he led the early stages of the AMA Supercross Championship on a YZ250. Later that year, he'd climb aboard one of the most famous motocross bikes of all time, the hand-built YZM400, the four-stroke motorcycle destined to compete with and beat the two-strokes. At Las Vegas in 1997, Henry did it, winning the race and starting a whole new era for the sport. A year later, Yamaha unveiled the production version of the YZM400, the YZ400F, and Henry single-handedly changed the sport when he sailed to the AMA 250 National Motocross Championship on that bike. And then he won a moto for Team USA at the Motocross of Nations at the end of that season. He announced that 1999 would be his last full season, but went out with another win at Troy, Ohio. From there, he'd return to his home race at Southwick each year and showed that he still had the speed to run at the front. In 2006, a full 7 seasons after his retirement, Henry was still a top 10 threat at his local national. Henry later transitioned into Supermoto, where he enjoyed a lot of success aboard a Graves Motorsports prepared Yamaha YZ400F, including X Games Gold in 2005. Henry was one of the pioneers of Supermoto racing for Yamaha. A Supermoto crash at Daytona in 2007 ended Henry's motorcycle racing career, but he continues to race Yamaha snowmobiles. Henry has 2 silver medals and a bronze in the X Games Snowcross Adaptive class, and he developed his own suspension-based snowmobile seat, which he improved with each X Games appearance. These days, all the X Games Snowcross Adaptive athletes emulate this seat. Henry still actively rides a specially modified Yamaha YZ450F, and he recently appeared on an episode of Jay Leno's Garage, where he rode his innovative roll cage-equipped machine, much to Jay Leno's amazement and delight. Doug Henry's legacy goes well beyond mere race wins or titles. He's a legend because his determination let him do things that no one else could.